And certainly, we may disagree about them, all right? But, you know, either we are in a country, or we're a less developed country, we have a revolution because we think that we disagree with the government.
We do.
What the laws are.
For a fact.
Or we live in a country such as ours where we do have means where we can peacefully protest, we can redress actions. If
They
we
don't
don't like the
listen.
law, we don't like our representatives, we certainly can form our own political party if we want to. We can certainly take other actions other than, you know,
We are.
using violence to achieve the changes or to right the wrongs that we think need to be righted. So that question, although a good one, it really has a lot to it. I mean, it's like it's a foot wide but a mile deep, because you're really talking about how you believe government should be run. I know this is the Tea Party, believe in limited government and basically a libertarian, and I can understand that. But I don't think anyone here thinks that we should be resorting to violence because we disagree with it. Well, I'm not saying that either, but I am saying I'm not certainly advocating that about that either. Yes, see, JC.
Wouldn't you say the best way for the people to get rid of bad law is jury nullification?
Yes.
Which we had a Michigan Supreme Court justice here who said, yes, we have that right to nullify bad law.
Would you
If it's an unconstitutional law, and I agree with you, you took an oath. You're following what you said you'd do. That's why I like you. But when it comes to jury nullification, in the state of New Hampshire, they just passed a law that says the judge has to notify the jury that they have the right to nullify bad law. Wouldn't that help the people that are on trial for something
Yes.
that was okay but got popped after it wasn't okay?
Correct.
For the jury to say, not guilty.
Correct.
Enough times of not guilty, bad law goes away.
That's right.
Well, here's my thing on that is,
It makes them
Yeah.
too much money.
I think we have enough laws as it is in the country. And I can tell you, dealing with the juries I've dealt with over the years, I've had a number of jury trials in Jackson County. And my feeling is we've had a lot of good juries. People have a lot of common sense. And I think people have a good sense of justice. They think the prosecutor's overreaching, police are overreaching in the case. They act accordingly. I mean, they don't call it that, but I think what I've seen their common sense is, you know, they just don't agree with it. And they, as a jury, make that decision. So whether you want to enact a law or not, I've seen it in existence in my time of almost 30 years of being in the field. So, I mean, it exists now. And I think juries have a sense of fair play. They think that, you know, if the prosecution is going too far, they let you know. Pretty clear about that.
All right, we've got two more questions. This one is from Vivian Curl, President of Citizens for Human Rights.
Yes.
If McQueen has closed dispensaries in Jackson County, why is Hydro World still open?
And with no police officers sitting in the parking lot.
Well, I can tell you that's a fair question. And I've talked to some of you, and fair to say that Hydro World's been raided at least one time. They are being pursued. And as you know, one of the dangers of if you're, let's say you're selling cocaine, that's an illegal drug, and you're subject to what's known as the civil drug forfeiture laws. Likewise, if you're involved in some illegal activity after McQueen, then if you're in a business front, you know, that property can be seized by the police. And so they currently are being pursued by undercover police here in town. I know of at least one raid that's occurred already. And so I can tell you as much as I can that I'm aware of that. They are being pursued, and I really appreciate not only, number one, the voluntary compliance by majority of dispensary owners in town, but also, too, you know, I've received helpful information from certain dispensary owners to help with that case as well. And I would certainly welcome if you have any information about that particular owner who's operating in violation. I certainly would welcome it confidentially. But that's what's going on with it. They have not dropped off the radar, I can tell you that.
Would you take the building if he was leasing that under forfeiture?
Yes, but we would have to notify the landlord first and give notice of that.
Have you?
It's my understanding that has happened, but I really can't go into details about that case. Yes.
Jerry, I want to set something straight here. The protest wasn't about you, and I actually straightened that out in the press. What I noted was after I spoke with you, that you were enforcing the letter of the law, and McQueen is pretty clear. There's one transaction left, so it's nothing personal here. And we're not going to protest somebody because they disagree with us, and it was the Supreme Court that made the error here. But we feel that the Supreme Court made the error because they received false testimony.
That's correct.
And we can actually prove that. Now, with numbers, we can actually quantify those misstatements by officials. If we brought that information to you, would you take that information into consideration? And if a crime was to be discovered from that information, would you pursue charges against these people?
Well, Joe, I mean, we've talked about it. I know you came to my office with some of your associates. We talked for about an hour. And I think I made it pretty clear to you that I'm pretty open to hearing what you have to say. And if you have information, certainly you can get copies of that to me in the future. How it would impact me about making a decision, I certainly can't say that without looking at the information,
Oh,
to
absolutely.
be honest with you. But again, my position is to follow the law, but I'd certainly have to take a look at that. I'm not going to promise you or guarantee anybody that certainly it would make me choose a certain course of action. I certainly have to take a look at that.
All right, we
Okay.
appreciate it. That's all we can ask for.
We've got, Sue would like to ask you a question.
Sure.
And you'll be happy to know I'm changing the subject.
Okay.
I know that you're new, so I've talked to other, I believe it was prosecuting attorneys, about the fact that it's embarrassing for me being a member of this community and driving down I-94. Those billboards are obnoxious. I don't understand how we can turn our backs to prostitution that's going on in Jackson right now. I'm just wondering what you
I don't know anything about
are,
that either.
if anything, maybe
Oh,
follow
I'm just
what Ann Arbor did and get the FBI involved. What are some things that possibly can be done at this point? Because like I said, I'm a citizen here and it's embarrassing.
What billboards are you talking about?
The health spas.
So you're really talking about human trafficking?
That's what
Okay.
happened in Ann Arbor when they dug deep. That's what was going on. I don't know. I can only